Update AITA for exposing my parents' favoritism. Update to original post. I decided to go ahead and call my grandparents to accept their offer to move in. During the phone call, I asked them why there was monthly payments being sent to my parents. Turns out my parents were living beyond their means for a while because my mother quit her job to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. My grandparents decided to help out by sending them money monthly to help with my parents' mortgage, and also to set aside some of that money for college savings for both my brother and I that was to be split evenly. Turns out my parents only planned to put that savings towards my brother's college. And that's also how they bought his car as well. So from now on my parents are now on their own financially. Likely my mother will have to go back to work to help my dad keep up the mortgage. I confronted my parents and asked why they've always treated my brother as the favorite. Then asked if there was something I needed to know. Turns out there was nothing. Literally nothing. I'm not an affair baby. Not even an unplanned pregnancy. They just liked my brother more. I was mad as hell and we argued a lot before I left the room because I'd had enough. My grandparents showed up on Saturday with a moving truck. My parents were floored when we started bringing in boxes to pack. My father got in our way and I reminded him how he said that I should move out. So I am. My mother cried some more and said that my father was just angry in the moment when he said that. And they had been counting on my rent money to help with my brother's college fund. I asked if that meant he would never have had to pay rent like I did when he turns 18. My father then said that since I was taking a gap year to work, then my rent money could have helped my brother. Which means they never intended for him to get a job while going to college. My grandpa was enraged and confronted my father, saying he raised him better than this. He chewed him out, saying he's never been more disappointed in him, and they will no longer receive any more financial support. Then said he'd disown them both if they ever tried to retaliate against me for exposing them. My father backed down and neither he or my mother said another word to me. I had a bit of an awkward conversation with my brother as we said our goodbyes to each other. And that was it. I just got in my car, waved and drove off. I'm now fully moved into my new room at my grandparents' house. It's a little smaller, but nice. And my grandparents are very welcoming. I'm going to keep working hard to move forward from here and I appreciate everyone's support. I am so sorry this happened to you. My dad's parents were just like this for absolutely no reason either. I'm glad your grandparents have helped you move in with them. Kudos to you for trying so hard to buy your own car, etc. They had been counting on my rent money to help with my brother's college fund. At that point, any doubts you had should have disappeared. You're leaving forever and their only thought is, but what about money for us and your brother? Your parents are irredeemable assholes. Also, I really like your grandfather. Good luck. I'm glad you have nice and sympathetic grandparents. Your parents are ghouls. Why have kids if you can't commit to love them? So, let me get this straight. Your parents favor your brother more than you, because they just like him more. Also, they were receiving your grandparents' money and saving a part to your brother's college, but not yours. And they had the audacity to say that they wanted you in their house so that you could still be paying rent. Oh boy. You missed a bullet there. I mean, kinda late, but you missed. Dad had the audacity to tell to y'all face he only wants you there to pay rent to help your brother. Benefit only? He's delusional and should be taken from Will so you get all their share from grandparents. This makes me miss my grandma. I have a stutter and my uncles used to bully me and make fun of me. One time my grandma heard about it and she made hell. She have 7 sons and some with grandkids. I have never seen 7 grown men cry before. She made them apologize to me in front of their kids and wives. She didn't talk to them for 2 months and they crawled back to her feet for mercy. Then said he'd disown them both if they ever tried to retaliate against me for exposing them. If I were your grandpa, I'd be updating my will so that the share of the estate my son would get would instead be split equally between his children and passed directly to them. Because I doubt your parents will leave you anything. They'll give it all to your brother. Oh, kid. I am so sorry. I have a few somewhat disjointed thoughts for you. As someone who also grew up the unfavorite child and is now a happy, fully functioning adult. 1. It's a dirty little secret that the kid who wasn't the favorite often turns out very well in the end. From an early age, you had to learn how to self-soothe, solve your own problems, be your own motivation and cheerleader, seek out kindness rather than take it for granted, and develop an independent mindset because your parents weren't in your corner. You possess many traits that will give you a great leg up in life, even though your parents aren't one of them. 2. I know you may not feel this way now, but it's sometimes liberating to break away from your parents when you are young, rather than stunt your own growth by clinging to hopes that they'll change or doing X will make them love you. You see who they are. You can now choose a college, a job, a place to live, a spouse, an entire future without being bogged down with the false hope of winning their approval or earning their love, something that should never have to be earned. 3. I have a thought about why this might be happening. Based on my experience, my mother wanted her kids to be exactly like her, introverted, quiet, bookish, intellectual, emotionally flat. I was like my father, social, talkative, creative, and vivid. She couldn't stand me because I wasn't like her. Raising me knowing I wasn't going to be like her felt like such a waste to her. My dad didn't care too much that I was like him. He loved my brother because he was so much like my mother and he loved my mother. They orbited around the kid that was a better reflection of their own love for themselves and each other. I don't know if that's true for you, but I want to offer that as food for thought. 4. Your grandparents are heroes. It's a miracle that they are in your corner. You will only love and appreciate them more as you grow older. When you reach the age your parents were when they rejected you, your anger will flare all over again. Remember your grandparents in those moments. What they did took moral courage and unconditional love. I wish you all the best. You deserve it. And you are infinitely capable of achieving it. Your folks got what they deserved. Good on you and your grandparents for standing your ground. Good luck. I'm so glad that things are working out for you. You deserve so much better than what your parents gave you. It's just horrible they were using you that way. Live your best life. Op. Best of luck on everything you do in the future. I'm so happy for you. Your grandparents sound wonderful. Hopefully, they can help you heal from your parents' awful treatment. Best wishes. Op. My grandpa was enraged and confronted my father, saying he raised him better than this. He chewed him out, saying he's never been more disappointed in him, and they will no longer receive any more financial support. If only more grandparents would do this. I'm glad that you are out of there now. Wow. Just no reason. They stole from you and lied to everyone for years for no reason. Just liked him better. I think that is a low-key way of saying they don't like you at all. This is all heartbreaking. Congratulations. I'm glad to hear this has ended in your favor. They had been counting on my rent money to help with my brother's college fund. I asked if that meant he would never have had to pay rent like I did when he turns 18. My father then said that since I was taking a gap year to work, then my rent money could have helped my brother. I think I almost saw red reading this. I was so upset. Can't imagine how it would be to hear it yourself up from your own parents. Truly golden child versus scapegoat situation. I wish you well in life. And I'm so glad that even though your parents are terrible, it seems like the rest of your family are still good. Especially your grandparents. I wish I had people as supportive as your grandparents. Congrats on getting out of there. Your grandparents are legends. Holy wow, your grandparents are superheroes. I'm so happy for you, AMD. So sad you went through all this, but at least in the end it worked. Great for you. Your parents are truly something else. Some have said irredeemable, and it's as good a word as any. Go live your best life. Realize that none of how they treated you was your fault or in any way indicative of your worth. They were not good parents to you. It truly says nothing about you and everything about them. So go focus on you. I can imagine finding out that there is no real reason for them to like your brother more is really hard. An affair or something like that would have at least been an excuse. But you should know if you're thinking that this is personal. It's not. Their behavior has shown that there is something very wrong with your parents. They are sick. And how they feel about you should have no effect on how you feel about yourself. I'm sorry your parents suck. But I think getting them out of your life will only help you in the future.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.